Welcome to the Excited Education channel, the YouTube channel which brings you about mathematics and biology as usual on YouTube. Called Teacher Amy Chris. Yeah, we are going to discuss about biology now, and it is Unit 4 on the biology and science for senior 1. Yeah, so this unit is called External Structure and Importance of Flowering Plants. External structure and importance of flowering plants. So allow me to continue and explain what about external structure and importance of flowering plants. Thank you. So here, plants are classified into two different groups according to their characteristics. Yes, I think you are together. You have to know that plants classified into two groups according to what? To their characteristics. For example, some of them they have flowers while others do not have. Those which bears flowers are called what? Flowering plants. While those without flowers are called what? Non-flowering plants. So you have to know that plants classified into two groups, whereas according to their presence of flower not present, where we have the flowering plants and the non-flowering plants. Where non-flowering plants they do not have flowers, and for flowering plants have flowers. So classification of plants. The plants are classified into two groups: the flowering plants or spermatophytes. Yes, and you have to know what about spermatophytes. Spermatophytes are those plants that have flowers. These are plants which bear flowers and reproduce by means of seeds after their germination, where they give an independent plants. E.g., you have tomatoes, orange, maize, hibiscus, and are divided into two subgroups depending on whether the seeds are or not enclosed in a protective coat. So here we are going to first explain the first class of plants, where we find there is flowering plants and non-flowering plants, and we are going to see the flowering plants, and it's called also spermatophytes. We find that they are plants that bears flowers, and also they can be classified into two subgroups according to whether the seeds are coated or not coated. So here there is what we call the angiosperm. These are spermatophytes which the seeds protected inside the fruits. As I said, you have subphylums of the plants with the flowers, which is called the spermatophyte. They have also subphylums of spermatophytes according to the presence of coated seed and non-coated. So first subgroup is what we call angiosperm. Those angiosperm are the spermatophyte or are the flowering plants which the seeds protected inside the fruits. And example, have passion fruits, tomatoes, beans, and etc. For the gymnosperms, these are the flowering plants with the seeds that are not protected inside. So here you have to know that in flowering plants you have two subgroups. So for those two subgroups are angiosperm and gymnosperm. They are classified according to whether the plant seeds are coated or not coated. For the angiosperm are the spermatophytes, those seeds are inside the fruit, means they are coated, whereas those gymnosperm they are not coated, they are not protected. So the flowering plants are also known as angiosperm or myophyta. Yes, so those flowering plants are also called myophyta or angiosperm, are the most diverse group of flowering plants. Together with gymnosperm, they are only extant group of seeds producing plants, but they can be distinguished from what? From gymnosperm by a series of derived characteristics. So these characteristics include flowers, endosperms within the seed, and the production of fruits that contain the seeds or fruit. And the example is what we call cypress and the pine. So these gymnosperms are the plants that do not have what? Flowers. So the flowers, like we have cypress and the pines. You know, cypress they don't have plants, they don't have flowers, and the the pines. So and also what you call angiosperm. So here is a structure of the flowering plant. Here we have the shoot. This is the shoot, and the shoot is the terminal the terminal buds. This is younger leaf, these are leaves, and these are flowers. Yes, and this is the structure of leaf. Yes, and the smaller buds are called nodes. Where the buds and the nodes are connected with it to the leaf is what you call node. So internode is the distance between the one node and another node. So this is what you call the internode. This is what you call the vesicular tissue. Vesicular tissue, this is the inside of the plant, and it is comprises the xylem and the phloem. That's what you call the vesicular tissue. Whereas the xylem is responsible for transporting water and mineral salts, whereas the phloem is responsible for transporting what you call food nutrients. So this is what you call flowering plant. Possesses different parts: flowers, leaves, nodes, fruits, stems, and so on. So here, let us continue. But also what I can tell you, as you see here, it also have the lower part. Yes, we view the upper part of the soil, but there is what we call also root. So roots, they have primary roots. See, they have, these are primary roots. They have lateral roots. These are lateral roots, and they have root hairs. This is small hair-like structure. This is what you call root hairs, and they have root tip. Root tip is this is the main root, and the root cap. So I think you have seen the root system of the flowering plant. And here, the flowering plant consists of two main parts. There's what you call a portion above ground. This is the shoot, and the portion below ground, which is the root, as I said. So the shoot, which is usually made up of the stem bearing leaves, buds, and flowers. So the portion of below, which is called the root, does not imply that any point the root, but for the root does not imply that any point of a plant below ground must be a root. Yes, there is what we call other plants that are likely to have their stem but are in underground. So you can't understand that those portion of up down the ground of the plant is what we call a root. It is not always. So the vegetative and reproductive structure of flowering plant. So what is the vegetative part of the plant? Here, the vegetative part of the plant consists of the roots, stem, and leaves, while flowering are the reproductive part. Conclusion: the angiosperm are flowering plants. Yes, as we see, these are plants which bears flowers when they are mature. The general structure of this plant is formed by two main parts: the shoot, the above ground part, and the part of below ground part, which is called the root. So, structure of flowering plants. Let us see this introduction. The roots form the underground part of the plant. So they fix the plant into the soil. Yes. So roots are responsible to fix the plant into the soil. Yes. To penetrate down the root and to be stable. So there are different parts of the roots. They have the cap root or root cap. This is the end of the root which protects the meristem zone of the root. Zone of active dividing cell growing region. So means that cap root is a cover of the meristem, and those meristem zone is where they have the different cells that are responsible for dividing cell and growing region. There is also what you call epidermis. This is the layer of cell without cuticle. So this layer of root does not comprise cuticle, and the younger region, particularly those with roots hair permits the uptake of water and solute. So means that epidermis have part which comprises the root hair and which are responsible to permit the uptake of water and solute. So there is also what we call cortex. This consists of large, thin walled cell without air space between them. The cortex is like wax, so it is not permeable and it is thin walled cell, or comprises thin walled cell and it is large. So the cortical cells store food materials and the innermost layer of cell may regulate the inward passage of water and dissolve the substance. So here you have to know that the function of cortex is to store food materials, and the inner part of it Halo, meze bite ma?